Hello students. So today I am going to discuss the new topic, that is pollen grains. It is for class 12 standard. You know that in the last video we discussed about microsporogenesis, and after microsporogenesis we got tetrad microspore, and tetrad microspore they are also known as pollen grain. Now come to the pollen grain. So pollen grain is also known as male gametophyte. Pollen grain is also known as male gametophyte. So how it looks like? Structure of pollen grain. Structure, it looks spherical in shape and the measuring about 25 to 50 micrometer in diameter. Pollen grain, it is composed of two layers. So there is two layers. The outer layer of pollen grain is composed of exine, and exine is made up of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is a chemical substance, and sporopollenin is most resistant organic material. Sporopollenin most resistant organic material, and there is no effect of high temperature, strong acids and alkali. So it protects the pollen grains for long period of time. Second is the inner layer, and inner layer is known as intine, and intine is composed of cellulose and pectin. So sporopollenin, the chemical substance, is absent on germ pore. Pollen grain has germ pore, and germ pore is a position from where male gamete or pollen tube come out. So mature pollen grains have two cells. When the pollen grains become mature, then the pollen grains become two cell structure. So first is the vegetative cell, and second one is the generative cell. Vegetative cell is bigger and has abundant food reserve and large irregular cell nucleus. So vegetative cell, it provides the nourishment to the developing pollen grain, and second cell is the generative cell. Generative cell is small and float in the cytoplasm of vegetative cell. Generative cells, when mature, mitotically it produce two male gametes, and two male gametes, they enter to the female gametophyte through pollen tube. So in majority of the plant, pollen grains, in over 60% of the angiosperm, the pollen grains they settle at the two cell stage. Settle means when they land on the stigma. So in 60% of angiosperm, pollen grains are set at two cell stage. Two cell stage means one vegetative cell and second one is the generative cell. But in remaining pollen grains set at three cell stage. Three cell stage means vegetative cell and generative cell divide into male gamete. two male gametes. So two male gametes, so that's why this is known as three cell stage. And three cell stage, in near about 40% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains settled on the stigma. Before landing on the stigma, the pollen grains develop into three cell stage. Vegetative cell and genetic cells, they produce two male gametes, so it becomes three cells. But in most of the angiosperm, near about 60% of the angiosperm, the pollen grains set on the stigma at two cell stage, vegetative cell and genetic cell. Later on, genetic cell get nourishment from the stigma and vegetative cell, and then it develop into two male gametes. So now we should come to the harmful effects of pollen grains. Pollen grains having various harmful effects also. Pollen grains, they causes various respiratory disorder like asthma and bronchitis. Harmful effect of pollen grain. It causes severe allergy, second, pollen grains, they also causes respiratory disorder, like asthma, bronchitis, and some chronic respiratory diseases. Chronic respiratory diseases means which remain for a long period of time. So there is one more harmful effect, means Parthenium. Parthenium, it is also known as carrot grass. Parthenium is a carrot grass and came into India along with imported wheat. So Parthenium, it is also known as carrot grass and came into India with imported wheat, and it become ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means occur on most places. That is ubiquitous, and causes pollen allergy. So there is various harmful effects. So first is the pollen grains, they causes various severe allergies. And second is the respiratory disorder like asthma and bronchitis, and in short you can write CRD. CRD means chronic respiratory disorder. And third one is the Parthenium. Parthenium is a carrot grass and it came into India along with imported wheat and it became ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means right now that carrot grass, it occur in most of the places, means all places, and it causes pollen allergy. Now students, useful effects of pollen grains. In useful effects of pollen grains, so So various pollen grains tablets, they are used in various tablet and syrup in medicine sector. So first useful effect of pollen grains. First is they are rich in nutrients. Rich in nutrients means they hold various nutrients like carbohydrate, protein and vitamins. Second is the pollen tablets. Are used as food supplement. They are also used as food supplement, and pollen products are used in the form of tablets and syrup. Now, viability of pollen grains. Viability of pollen grains means the time period for which the pollen grains become functional. Functional time period of pollen grain. Functional time period of pollen grain is known as viability of pollen grain, and in the viability of pollen grains, so near about in cereals like wheat and rice, pollen grains become functional or viable till 30 minutes. Pollen grains become functional till 30 minutes. And next point is that in Rosaceae family, Rosaceae, Leguminosae and Solanaceae family, Solanaceae, pollen grains become viable for months. So students, now we come to the viability. Viability means the functional time period of the pollen grains. So pollen grains, after a viable time period, they become sterile, they become functionless. So in the cereals like wheat and rice, pollen grains become viable till 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they become functionless if they are not landed on the stigma of the female gametophyte. So they become functionless. But in the family Rosaceae, Leguminosae and Solanaceae, pollen grains become viable for several months. So now the pollen grain topic is clear. So the next topic is the pistil. So pistil is also known as microsporangia, and pistil is the part of female reproductive organ. So gynecium, as you know, gynecium is known as female reproductive part, and if pistil is on the basis of their position and structure, so pistil is also categorized into two categories. So pistil or megasporangium, pistil or megasporangium, and pistil is also known as gynecium, and gynecium is female reproductive part of flower. It is female reproductive part of flower. So gynecium, it is of two types. First is the monocarpellary. Monocarpellary means if gynecium is composed of only one carpel, one pistil. Gynecium is composed of one pistil. Pistil or carpel both is same. Second is the multicarpellary. Multicarpellary means gynecium is composed of, gynecium is female reproductive part and it is composed of more than one pistil. More than one pistil. So have you understood the difference between monocarpellary and multicarpellary? By the word mono means one. Mono means one. Carpel means female reproductive part. So female reproductive part, it can be represented like this. So it's the structure of female reproductive part. So monocarpel means gynecium is composed of one pistil or one carpel. In multicarpel, multi means many. And carpel means female reproductive part. So if there are many gynecium and many carpel like structure, so it is known as multicarpel in the short. So next point is the, if more than, so two word it is given in the NCERT. One is the apocarpus and second one is the syncarpus. Apocarpus and syncarpus. Apocarpus means if the gynecium is free, if the carpel is free. So that means female flower is known as apocarpus condition. If more than one pistil is fused together, then this condition is known as syncarpus. Condition is known as syncarpus. If gynecium is not fused, free pistil is there. If gynecium is not fused, so the gynecium is known as apocarpus. So apocarpus means three pistils are not attached to other, and if the pistils are attached together, so that condition is known as syncarpus. So both the conditions they occur in the multicarpellary structure. So multicarpellary structure having two parts, apocarpus and syncarpus. So apocarpus means pistils, many pistils are there, but they are not attached to each other. They are free. They are separate. But in the syncarpus, various carpel or pistils, they are fused together. So now students, come to the parts of pistil. Our next part is the parts. As you know, pistil or carpel or female reproductive organ, it is composed of style, stigma and ovary. Parts of pistil. So first is the style. First stigma. Now style and last ovary. So stigma, style and ovary. So stigma acts as a landing platform. Stigma acts as a landing platform for pollen grains. When the pollen grains become mature, when they dehiscence from the anther, dehiscence means when they separate, when they release from the anther. So with the help of pollinating agent, so they landed on the stigma. So stigma, you can say stigma, it gives the platform for the landing of pollen grains. So and stigma is the largest part of the flower, and the stigma it is a lobe-like structure, and on which the pollen grains they landed. Style is the cylinder part through which pollen tube enter inside ovary. Inside ovary or female gametophyte. And ovary is the basal blessed part of pistil. So it is basal part and it contains various ovules. And inside ovary, so there is a ovarian cavity. Ovarian cavity is also known as locule. So now parts of pistil is stigma, style and ovary. Stigma, it acts as a landing platform for pollen grains, and style, its cylinder part through which the pollen tube enter inside ovary. And last part of the pistil is the ovary, and ovary is the basal blessed part of pistil, and inside ovary ovarian cavity is present, and that ovarian cavity is known as locule. And the placenta is located in the ovarian cavity. Ovarian cavity is also known as locule. So students, so I think you have understood the parts of pistil. So our next part is the megasporangia or structure of ovule. megasporangia. Megasporangia is also known as ovule, and ovule they are present inside ovary. So megasporangia is commonly called ovule, and number of ovules on the basis of number of ovules, so the plants they are also categorized. One ovule are many. So like rice, wheat and mango, when they rice, wheat, mango, so we get one seeded plant, one seeded fruit. One seeded fruit is the mango also, wheat also, and rice. And in many, like papaya, watermelon, and orchids, various other orchids are many number of ovules are present in the fruit. So now it's clear, ovules after fertilization, ovules they after fertilization ovules change into the seeds. So one seeded, so if the ovary contain one ovule, so only one seed will develop, and if they contain many ovules, so various seeds will develop inside fruit. Okay, next topic is the structure of megasporangia. Okay, students, it is the structure of megasporangia. Megasporangia, it is also known as ovule, and you know that ovule is present inside ovary. So it is the anatropous view of ovule. So this inner portion of the ovule, it is known as embryo sac. And embryo sac is known as female gametophyte. So female gametophyte, it is wrapped by two membrane. So the inner membrane and the outer membrane, it is the inner and it is the outer, and it is totally wrapped by a layer of cell, is known as nucellus. Nucellus having various cells. Nucellus they provide nourishment to the developing embryo sac. So the next membrane, it is known as inner integument. Inner integument. So at the upper portion, this portion is known as micropyle. Micropyle is the portion through which the pollen tube enter inside embryo sac after landing of the stigma, landing of the pollen grains on the stigma. So generative cells they produce two male gametes, and both male gametes they enter inside embryo sac through pollen tube by micropyle end. So micropyle end. So on the embryo sac where integuments do not cover. So it is the outer integument. Integument is the membrane which wraps the embryo sac. So this portion is known as funicle. sac. What is funicle? Funicle is a sac which attached placenta with ovule. Which attach placenta with ovule. This portion is known as hilum. Hilum is a junction. Hilum is a junction between ovule and placenta. So it is a junction between ovule and funicle. So funicle is a stalk which attaches the placenta with ovule, and hilum is a portion where funicle attaches with ovule. So the inner part is the embryo sac, and this portion is known as nucellus, and the next membrane is known as inner integument, and inner integument it does not cover this end, and this end is known as micropyle end, and through the micropyle end the pollen tube enter inside embryo sac. So this portion is known as chalazial end. Chalazial end means the portion through which the pollen tube enter inside embryo sac, that is known as micropyle end, and this portion is known as chalazial end. Okay, students. So go through the structure of megasporangium or ovule. Our next part is the megasporogenesis. Okay, students, now see the megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis, formation of megaspore. Formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell is known as megasporogenesis. It is the structure of embryo sac, where inside embryo sac one cell is there, and through the embryo sac, the cell of the embryo sac through the meiosis, it divides into two cell structure. So it is the meiosis 1, and now it becomes meiosis 2. And after meiosis 2, you know that meiosis is a reductional division, and in the reductional division the polarity of the female gametophyte become changed. So now here is at the end of the meiosis 2, 4 megaspore forms, in which 3 megaspores become degenerate. 3 megaspore become degenerate, and only 1 megaspore left, and such kind of embryo sac development is known as monosporic development. So after that, one functional megaspore divide mitotically, means through the mitosis division into 2 cells. So and those cells they move toward the poles, one to the opposite poles, upper side and one is the lower side. Again mitosis. So after again mitosis division, 2 cell structure change to 4 cell structure. Then again mitosis. So 3 times mitosis division takes place, and 1 time meiosis division takes place. Meiosis 1 and then meiosis 2. Then 3 cells become degenerate. 1 functional megaspore is known as monosporic development of the embryo sac, and that is again divided into 2 cell structure through the mitosis, and then again mitosis 2, 4 cell structure, and then mitosis 3 is 2 cell some unique things that at the means when it divided to 8 cells. So now it modify it means the 3 cells they move toward the chalazer end and they modify into antipodals. What? Antipodals. And at the micropylar end, 3 cells they form the egg operators. What? Egg operators and synergies. At the center, two polar nuclei, they form one central cell. Now you count the number of cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So number of cells is 7, but the nucleus is 8. So that's why when the megaspore become developed, so it change into the 7 cells, 8 nucleate structure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 cells are there, but at the central cell is known as having 2 polar nuclei. इसके पास 2 polar nuclei हैं. 2 polar nuclei and 2 polar nuclei. Due to the presence of 2 polar nuclei, so now it become one cell. Okay. So now see the complete structure. So it is the structure of antipodals. And central cell, it is the egg, synergids, and free form operators. Free form operators, it guide and give path for the entry of the pollen tube inside embryo sac. So students, so megasporogenesis process is a complex process in which the megaspore they form through the megaspore mother cell. So megaspore mother cell, so the polarity of the megaspore mother cell, it is 2n here. Now here after meiosis, so meiosis is a reductional division. So now it change into the n, and now here is also n. N means it become haploid. So gametes they contain the haploid number of chromosome. So megaspore mother cell they divide through meiosis, and meiosis is also known as reductional division. Which division? Reductional division. And reductional division means the number of chromosomes become half. And meiosis it completed into 2 phases, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So after meiosis 1, 2 megaspore means 2 cell structure form inside the embryo sac. After that meiosis 2, then it develop into 4 cell stage. And the 4 cell stage, so this structure is known as tetrad megaspore. Tetrad means 4 megaspore form. That's why this structure is known as tetrad megaspore. And now 3 megaspore they become degenerate. Only 1 megaspore which is more functional that left for again megasporogenesis process. Now 1 megaspore divides through the mitosis, and mitosis, you know, the mitosis is a equational division. Number of chromosome become same, only the cell number of cell become more. So 1 cell divided into 2 cells, and both cells move toward the poles. Poles means one at the upper pole and one move toward the lower pole. Again meiosis 2 occur. Meiosis is a equational division. Equational division means when one cell divides into two cells, that cell division is known as mitosis. So mitosis 2, then 2 cell again change into 4 cell, then 4 cell again for the mitosis third into 8 cell. But here, so 3 cells move toward the chelazal end, 3 cells move toward the micropyle end. The cells which move toward the chelazal end, they modify into antipodals, and the cells which move toward the micropyle end, they form the egg operators and synergids. So egg operators, it is the female gametophyte. So and the synergids, along with synergid, they form the egg operators. And 2 cells they fuse together at the center of the megaspore. So and both cells, the cytoplasm of the both cells become means they fuse together, and now it becomes one cell. Cell membrane become fused, and when cell membrane become fused, so now it will become one cell, and one cell, but both they have 2 nucleus. So due to the presence of 2 nucleus, so it is known as 2 polar nuclei is present in one cell, and remaining cell you can see only 1 nucleus is there, but the cell which at the center is known as central cell, and it contains 2 nucleus, and here 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. So 2 cell become synergids and 1 it is the egg cell. So number of cell, here is number of cell is the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But the number of cells are 7, but they are 8 nucleated. 7 cells, but 8 nucleus is there. The central cell it contains 2 nucleus. So now see that functional megaspore. So functional megaspore, egg cell and synergy, central cell and antipodals. So students, go through this structure, and if you have any query, contact in your class WhatsApp group. Thank you.